Good evening, everyone. I'm Karen Swenson. Welcome to the final televised debate before Saturday's New Orleans mayoral election. Joining us in the studio tonight are the three candidates, positioned left to right in alphabetical order. Former civil court judge Michael Bagneris, NAACP President Danatus and incumbent Mayor Mitch Landrieu. We thank you each for being here tonight and sharing your thoughts and positions on important issues facing New Orleans and its future. We would also like to introduce you to our panel of journalists, Sally Ann Roberts and Mike Haas of WWL-TV, and Stephanie Grace of the New Orleans Advocate. Now, in our first round, the panelists will ask a question to which each candidate will have 45 seconds to respond. You will hear a chime when your time is up. There it is, so please try to keep your answers to the time allotted. We begin with Sally Ann Roberts and a question that will go first to Mr. Bagneris.
There is no doubt that the city has seen substantial recovery post-Katrina, particularly in the downtown and business areas. But if you go into some of our neighborhoods, you will find large areas that still have not recovered. Do you think that all areas of the city have been treated fairly in the distribution of resources? And if not, what criteria would you set to make sure that the areas that need the city's limited resources receive them?
Well, to answer the question initially is, well, before I even do that, let me thank WWL and let me thank WYES. Now, to answer your question, I don't believe that the city has distributed its resources equally. In fact, it's obvious that it has not. We need to make sure that areas that have been ignored, like Algiers, like New Orleans East, like Central City, Gentilly, and like the Ninth Ward, receives its share of the city's resources. Now, how you would do that? You would have to demonstrate, look at their tax bases and try to give them a more significant portion of their tax distribution. You can't give it penny for penny.
Thank you, Mr. Bagneris. Mr. King, your thoughts?
No, the resources have not been distributed fairly. And one of the things that we have to realize is that for all of our sakes, whether we live uptown, downtown, Ninth Ward, Garden District, we have to address those areas that have been most hurt. And unless we address those areas that have been most hurt, that hurt will continue to compound, and then sooner or later that hurt will spill out into those other areas that might think that they're doing well. So it's just, if you're hurt, if your foot's hurt, the doctor treats your foot. If he doesn't treat your foot, that foot becomes infected, and that infection spreads throughout the rest of the body, and it kills the body. That's the same thing we have to do with our city. The most hurting parts of our city, we have to focus our resources there.
Mr. Landrieu.
Karen, thank you, and it's great to be with all of you. 4 years ago, we faced a catastrophe that no other city in America has faced. We were flat. Jobs were leaving the city. Everything was going wrong. The recovery was nowhere to be found. We came in together. We found common ground. We stood back up, and we began to get the recovery moving in the right direction. We have 200 projects that have either come out of the ground and that are coming out of the ground, and recovery is going on all over the city of New Orleans. There's no question, however, that we still have a long way to go. And some parts of the city that were more hurt during the storm or were in a worse part before the storm have a longer way to come back. But we have committed our resources in major building projects in every part of the city, from Lower 9 to Fisher to the new hospital in the east, to all of the work that's being done in Central City right now, to all of the work that's being done across the city, and we have more to do.